In just 3 days, the families at Sierra Ridge Apartments, with helping hands from the community, turned the grassy front grounds into a garden. It began in spring 2008 with Art House at the Jones Center's exhibit and workshops about sustainable gardening. They also sponsored an edible estate as an ongoing exhibit that celebrates the garden as a relationship with art, natural resources, and human need.
I was very interested in doing a project that had a very strong community component.
For the exhibit and garden, Elizabeth commissioned LA-based Fritz Haag, an architect and designer whose Garden Lab project supports ecology-based initiatives in art and design. His Garden Lab concept, Edible Estates, has turned front lawns around the country into food for families.
Edible Estates started in 2005, really growing out of the 2004 presidential elections. I was feeling like my kind of little world of contemporary architecture and art was so narrowly focused on these small little cultural communities in New York and LA, and I really, after that whole red state, blue state business, I really wanted to do a project that cut across all cross sections of American society and really make a project that was about how we all live in some way, and there's something about the space of the lawn that we all have in common no matter what.
In Austin, Foundation Community Sierra Ridge Apartments, one of their affordable housing communities, was chosen as Haag's first multifamily edible estate.
For us, it's about creating community, not only just within our environment and our apartment complex, but, within this block as well.
Along with the garden's invitation for community fellowship outdoors, it awakens the children to how food is grown and how good it tastes when you do it yourself.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a basket one day and pick some up.
Luckily, we found many people that were very generous and gave us lots of the plants. Almost all the plants are donated. Most of the soil is donated. We bought a few fruit trees and a few things here and there, but for the most part, almost everything was donated.
Fritz designed the garden for walk-around interaction and structure no matter what crop is in season. He worked with Travis County master gardeners and others for the right varieties, planted in raised beds. Rather than digging out the grass, they used weed mesh under the compost or mulch to suffocate and return it to the soil. 100 people worked over 3 days, including volunteers from the community, neighbors, and the Sierra Ridge families.
In the past 3 days that I've been here with the residents, I've seen a lot of effort, a collaboration of the residents that are normally a lot of times that I see on a daily basis. They're just walking by one another to the laundry room, to the community center, whatever, hi, bye. This was a lot more effective because they were working together. It brought the parents and the children together. And even those individuals that do not have children at home, they're already grown children, they were out here as well. And that's what made a big difference,
Thanks to the children and their enthusiastic energy, the Garden Build's 3-day timeline was easy to meet. A few came back to help, even though their families have moved to new homes.
It's not that we were digging holes, it's just that we were moving the dirt.
It gave us something to do that day too as well. I mean, we came over here to hang out with everybody and they were digging, so we thought to dig too. It was fun. Can't really explain it.
And they're mostly kids, and they've been really working. Like, all those kids moved a truckload of dirt in one day, and they moved all these rocks into place. But it's been my experience, I'm not surprised anymore. Every garden I've done, it's always the same thing. It's always the kids that are there first, most excited.
These are, peppers. Some kind of pepper called a black pearl. My mom never got one of those. I think she'll like them.
Mom would always say, okay, we're gonna make a garden somewhere around the house.
For most, the pineapple guavas fruit will be a first, but so will be watching a peach tree flower and turn into hand-picked sweetness.
You know, it's a lot of times kids who've never had an experience with a garden before that it's a real revelation. And, you know, a lot of times when I first started doing these, I got all nervous, like, oh no, their kids are planting the strawberries, they're gonna mess it up. But now it's like I realize when they plant it, they take part ownership of it, and they're going to make sure it does okay, and they're going to watch out for it.
We're going to make it part of our curriculum here with the after-school program. So what we are envisioning is right in the beginning doing some introductory gardening activities with the entire after-school program, which consists of about 80 children, and then eventually starting a gardening club.
And it's not that lawns are evil, growing food is good, and everyone should do this necessarily. The story is more about choice, that people understand that when you own private property, what you choose to do with it represents, to some degree, the direction you want to see the world go, or what your relationship is to your community, or how you want to live. And I think a lot of us are given or handed down really antiquated ways of occupying land, and we need to rethink them in really basic ways.
You know, a lot of people have been saying, why is this art? And as a curator, as someone who works at an arts institution, I think I would say that artists respond to the world we live in and help us look at it in a different way. And Fritz has absolutely done that with this project, with the Edible Estates series of prototype gardens. I hope that this project will inspire other people to look at their front yards in a much different way.
If you rip up your lawn and plant food now and your neighbors call you on it, you can say, well, I'm just making my edible estate, and it's like, seems proper and legitimate instead of just, you know, kind of crazy hippie thing to do.
Probably these kids don't even know what a hippie is. They just know what's fun.